What is up, guys? It's Brandon here from The Refined Investor, where we talk about everything from business to finance, passive income, and beyond. Now today I want to talk about the 3 major things that are keeping you broke. Now of course I kid a bit because not everyone has all 3 of these main problems, but these 3 problems are what I see mainly from people around me, and I think most people in the United States. So these 3 things I'm about to break down for you seem pretty simple, right? They seem obvious, but really in actuality, they don't understand these habits and how they're really affecting their finances and saving really every single month of their lives. These 3 habits are really the biggest areas that I see that people can make quick changes to then get quick returns to then help them get back on track for their future. All right, well, let's get into habit 3. Now, habit 3 should be on everyone's radar, right? It's what almost every single American pays for each and every month, and that is transportation, right? So their car. Cars are really one of the biggest liabilities that drain people's bank accounts every single month. The average car payment today, as I'm shooting this video, for a brand new car is $700 a month, while the average payment for a used car is $500 per month. Let's let that sink in a bit. Imagine if you had an extra $500 to $700 a month that wasn't spent on a vehicle. Imagine what you could do with that. Well, your mind's probably thinking, and you're thinking, well, I might save more, I might invest more, I might put more towards my vacation fund for the future, I might do this, I might do that. The world just kind of opens up. When you have an extra $500 to $700 a month that isn't being spent on a depreciating asset such as a car, you have a whole bunch of opportunity. Now, well, you might be saying, well, I need a car, right? Well, if I'm not paying for it every month, how am I going to have a vehicle? How am I going to have transportation? Am I going to take Uber? What am I going to do? No. You're going to pay for a car in cash. And you may be thinking, when I say pay for a car in cash, you're going to be like, well, Brandon, how am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to save up money to buy a car in cash? Well, I think we need to go back to expectations, right? Are you talking about buying a $40,000 car, a $30,000 car, a $20,000 car? What are we talking about here? There's many cars that can get you from A to B that are under $5,000, right? There's some that are decently reliable for $4,000, right? They're not going to be pretty, but they're going to get the job done until you have enough cash to afford maybe a nicer car in the $10,000 to $20,000 to $30,000 range. I could talk about cars all day and how detrimental they are to savings and your financial future, but I digress. Let's get into habit number 2. Habit number 2 is also something that essentially every American has to pay for. It's housing, right? And that can be in the form of renting or owning. Now, there's a term that's called being mortgage poor. And what that means is that you took out way too large of a loan and you're paying way too much to actually sustain that for if you're buying, 30 years, or if you're renting till the end of your lease. And yes, everyone needs a place to live, but do you need that 2 or 3 bedroom apartment that overlooks the water or is right in the heart of the city if you're renting? If you're buying a home, do you need that 4-bedroom, 4,000 square foot house in the best area in a gated community, this and that? Chances are the answer are no to those questions. Since housing is really one of the biggest expenses for the average person, this is really where you can save a lot of money every single month. Now, this could be in the form of moving to a different apartment once your lease is up, something that's a little bit more cost efficient, or it could be downsizing in-house. The last thing you want to do is have some crazy high multi-thousand a month payment for a home that you could maybe have afforded at one time. Maybe you had a different career, right? You got burnt out and then now you're not making as much money, or maybe you had some health scare. There's a whole bunch of different scenarios here that at one point maybe you could afford that rent or mortgage, but now when things have cooled down and kind of flatlined, to normalcy, is no longer something that makes sense for you. Say you go from paying $2,000 a month, either in rent or a house, down to $1,300, right? You're probably going to be getting something that is not as big or maybe not in as great of an area, but hey, now you have $700 more per month. And if you followed the third habit and actually bought your car and you were saving $500 to $700 a month, now you could be saving $1,400 per month if you just simply owned your car and had more reasonable housing. All right, and habit number 1 that is keeping you broke is failing to budget and know where your money is going every single month. There are so many people that I know that have subscriptions up the wazoo that they completely forgot about. They have no idea it's on recurring charge on that credit card every single month, and they sort of forget about it. And this could be a gym membership, right, that you don't actually use. Could be a Peloton membership that's $40, $50 a month that you don't use. It could be Disney, Hulu, cable, whatever, right, that you're not using, that's just auto charging all the time. So I have a video that I'll link right here that goes over how I personally budget myself. I have a free spreadsheet that has formulas in it that kind of tracks, expenses, income, and then spits out a number at the bottom of what you've actually saved or lost during that particular month. Again, that video I'll actually put it down in the description as well if you didn't have a chance to click on it. When you budget, you can really find newfound money that you had, but you didn't know you had, right? And that might be in the form of cutting back in certain areas. Like I mentioned, subscriptions. It could be alcohol. It could be going out to eat. It could be a certain, hobby that you don't find fulfilling anymore. There's a whole host of things that once you actually budget and sit down and say, hey, this is what I'm spending, this is what I'm making, and this is what I'm saving or losing, just being able to actually look at that broad picture first and then diving deeper into, say, your credit card statements and see where you're spending money, what's worth it and what's not, you can just unlock a whole bunch of free cash flow that you had, but you didn't necessarily know you had. So in these 3 habits, housing, transportation, and budgeting, I am so confident that anyone can find ways to cut back, and they can save, anywhere from a couple $100 to a couple $1,000s a month if they simply just look at these 3 areas and make smarter decisions. These 3 habits are really the biggest areas that I see that people can make quick changes to then get quick returns to then help them get back on track for their future. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and of course consider subscribing to my channel to see other content like this in the future. Well, until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.